When you look back to the start of your education journey, didn't it begin with fun? So much emphasis was placed on play learning and exploring the creative. We began with markers, paints, colored pencils, and were encouraged to discover new colors because there are more colors in the world than Crayola's 308 colors. My school box was more like a creative toolbox when I was in first and second grade. I worked with colored paper, scissors, and tape to construct things that only existed in my creative brain. And then sadly, as I moved up in grades, instead of adding to my creative toolbox, I was removing my precious items and replacing them with black and blue pens, mechanical pencils, and the only thing of color was now highlighters that emphasized the works of others. I remember when mistakes never really existed. We worked with that oddly shaped circle we drew when really we meant to draw that perfect circle because we made it work. It seems that that attitude also disappeared and was replaced by whiteouts, erasers, and shame when we made errors. Even look at the methodology of teaching. Teachers are so much more creative at the lower levels than they are at the upper levels. It almost seems like creativity is not celebrated as we get older. I like to incorporate creativity in learning and think it's a valuable tool, but I do meet resistance from colleagues, but even more so my students. There are a couple of difficult poems that we study throughout the year, and one poem in particular, I move all the desks out and cover the floor with sheets of white paper and throw crayons, markers, and colored pencils all over the floor. Students are invited to use whiteboard markers to write on the boards and windows and even the cabinets. The only rule is that they cannot write any words, and they need to draw things from the poem or inspirations from the poem. It takes them about 10 minutes to get out their complaints and figure out how and where to start, as if there was a right way to do this. But as the hour comes to an end, students are excitedly working through their pictures, engaging their creative brains. And when we discuss and interpret the drawings, it's amazing to see the depth of learning and knowledge crafted by creativity. Take a look at some of the statistics on the wicked problem of creativity in education in the world. 1 in 4 believe they are living up to their creative potential. Now this number should be much higher than that. Think about your students. If you have a class of 32 students, only 8 of them feel like they are living up to their creative potential. 8? We can do better than that. 75% of people feel pressured by production rather than creativity. We live in a culture that celebrates product, the end goal, and there is too much emphasis placed on getting things done and getting it done in a timely manner. 80% of people think creativity is critical for economic growth. Many articles and business publications have shared that they need creative brains to set themselves apart from their competition, whether it's for a product or marketing. Fresh ideas sell, and innovation comes from creativity. Similar to that, 2 out of 3 people believe creativity is valuable to society. But 6 out of 10 feel that education stifles creativity. Our current education practice needs to be shaken up, woken up, reinvigorated, and we need to amp up on creativity. One way, use technology to inspire creativity. 6 in 10 says technology inspires creativity. Look at the trend of the study. The projections show that creativity is our future. We need to explore, encourage, and foster creativity and make sure our students are well equipped for the future that is seeking creative thinkers to institute change and innovation. So teachers, join me on this adventure. Let's awaken our own creativity, and in doing so, awaken the creativity of our students. Because in the words of Robert Frost, I am not a teacher, but an awakener.